Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsam
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome back to yet another fascinating episode of Pariprashna, that is episode number 48. So first of all, I want to express heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made it to our get-together, the recent one that we had last weekend. And also another small favor that I'm requesting of all of you. So we have a small form that we have left in the description. It'll just take about 2 to 3 minutes of your time. If you can kindly give us your feedback, what do you think? You don't have to have watched all the episodes until now. Even if you have watched a few episodes, all the episodes, doesn't matter. So whatever you think, your realizations, your reflections, any suggestions you may have, what do you like about Pariprashna? Just in a few sentences, if you can give, we can compile all of them, because today happens to be the 48th episode. In just another 2 weeks, it's going to be the 50th episode. So we would like to have a nice compilation of all your feedbacks. So kindly do us that favor. So where are we today? So in the previous episode, that is episode 47, we had seen how Kardama had begotten 9 wonderful daughters from the womb of Devahuti, and lo and behold, the Supreme Lord himself, as he had predicted and blessed them, appears as Kapiladev. So upon the birth of appearance of Kapiladev, Kardama Muni, he takes the permission of his son, and then he leaves the forest. And towards the fag end of the last chapter, we saw that he in fact achieves God realization, and he goes back home, back to Godhead. So now what happens back here in Bindu Sarovara is that Kapila Dev is here, and his mother Devahuti, she had requested her husband that you have to give me fearlessness, and Kardama had promised her that the Supreme Lord who will appear as your son will award you with that fearlessness. So what is going to ensue for the remainder part of Canto 3, that is a good chunk of chapters from chapters 25 all the way to chapter 33, the very end of Canto 3 is going to be this very enlightening conversation about Sankhya Yoga, devotional service, and very, very interesting topics between this mother-son duo, Devahuti and Kapila Dev. So today our objective is going to be to cover 2 chapters. So chapter number 25, which is titled Glories of Devotional Service, and chapter number 26, which is called Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. So we have a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and continue to inquire from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurabh Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat, Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, beginning chapter number 25, the glories of devotional service. So we see time and again, there is this very nice syncing alignment between the conversation that is happening between Shaunakadi Rishis and Suta Goswami in Naimisharanya versus this Parikshit Maharaj's conversation with Shukadeva Goswami on the bank of the Ganges. And then the Samvada, the conversation between Vidura Mahatma and Maitreya Rishi in Haridwar. So how come all these 3 are very nicely going in sync?
So that is the methodology of presenting Puranas.
Mm-hmm.
A conversation within a conversation, and a conversation within that conversation, and a conversation within that conversation.
Mm.
So to maintain the thread of the subject matter, this is a technique which has been used. Like we have the Shaunaka Rishi speaking, say, Sutta Goswami speaking to the sage of Naimisharanya, who is headed by Shaunaka Rishi. Now, within that, you have the conversation between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. And within that conversation, we have Vidura Maitreya Samvad.
Mm-hmm.
So the subject matter is actually same. That is Krishna.
Yes.
And when different speakers speak the same thing, and these conversations, they give a special flavor to it. And there are also taratamya, there are also gradations in that particular conversations. Of course, the topmost conversation, the Bhagavatam, happened between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay. So, Maharaj, yet another interesting aspect of these conversations, just like here, I was wondering in the beginning of this chapter. So, originally, the question asked was, I want to know about the genealogy, the Vamsha Vriksha, the lineage of Swayambhuva Manu. So, very well, Maitreya Rishi explained, okay, so he had 3 daughters and 2 sons. He talked about Devahuti and Kardama and how they begot all these daughters and Kapiladev. So, he could have very well moved on to Akuti and Prasuti. But, however, right in the beginning of this chapter, Shaunaka Rishi, and looks like Vidura Mahatma is also mirroring the same thing. So they are asking, no, 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 we want to hear a little bit more. The Supreme Lord Himself has come, so we don't want to know about His divine activities and know about His instructions. So, and the speaker is also very much complying to the request of the audience. So when they say we want to hear, so, unlike the Western, the so called modern education system, there is a set curriculum and they just have to cover it within a set amount of time. But here it is not very rigid, it's very dynamic. It flows based on the mood of the speaker and the listener. And very well, I see a glimpse of that in your own courses also. You're not very rigid. Right in the beginning, you tell your students that, okay, this is what we are told to complete, but we will see how much we can go. But regardless of how much we actually complete in terms of quantity, there is a sense of fulfillment at the end of your courses. So, if you can shine a little bit light on this very dynamic nature of Vedic teachings, this reciprocation between the speaker and the listener.
Yeah. Krishna is unlimited, and subject matter about Krishna is also unlimited. So there is no question of any completion of it. There is only a question of how much you can relish it. And when you are relishing something, it cannot be too academic. Yes, definitely some academics are there, but that is secondary to the experience of rasa. Rasa, Bhagavatam is rasamalayam, and that has to be having a free flow. If there is no free flow of the rasa, if it is restricted by external aspects of academic point of view, then the rasa will become diluted. That is why to keep the rasa afloat, the person, the teacher and the student, they are the most important part. So the subject has to be discussed in depth. So to relate the subject in depth, you need to have student-centered education rather than subject or the time-centered, academic-centered education. So if you see from modern education, there's a primary defect in that. You have 10 grades of students in the same class with different intelligence and different aptitude and different grasping capacities and give different interests. But you give the same subject to them and the same question paper to all of them. It doesn't work because you cannot have a running race with a fish, with a parrot, with a donkey, with different animals. You cannot have the same criteria of judgment. So here in the Vedic system, it is not like that. Vedic system education is based on student centric. Like even the modern medicine, it treats the disease, but the Vedic system of Ayurveda treats the patient. According to the patient, the medicine is given, not according to the disease, because everybody's constitution is different. So based on that constitution, the medicine also varies. Maybe the combination of medicine may vary. Maybe the dilution of the medicine may vary depending on the patient. So the person who is hearing, like Parikshit Maharaj, or here we have Maitreya Rishi speaking to Vidura. Vidura's question. Vidura is very important. He have to satisfy the questions asked by Vidura. And when sometimes he may ask a question within the question, you may have to go deeper, or you may have to go to another subject in connection with the present subject. So the Vedic system of education is more dynamic. It is conversation, where questions are encouraged. Modern system of education, you are not supposed to ask questions. The teacher will ask question. The student is supposed to ask question. Teacher is supposed to answer. But here it's the modern system is it's not very appreciated.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I can very much relate to that, Maharaj. Recently, I gave 2 sessions in an engineering college. Each session had about 200 students, and every time I like to keep my classes very interactive. I told them right in the beginning, please interact. But any time I asked a question, 200 students, but not a single question. But they're all good students. I mean, they're very disciplined, they're not talking, they're very quiet and making good notes and all that. But anytime ask them questions, no questions. So we are simply downloading, but they're not encouraged to think and be critical and ask good questions. Yeah, very much relatable. So Maharaj, yet another fascinating thing that we see here is not only here, in several instances in Bhagavatam, is role reversal. For example, husband and wife, usually the husbands are supposed to be like spiritually more advanced and the wives look up to them. But however, in the 10th canto, we will see the Brahmanas and the Brahmana Patnis, the Yagnik Brahmanas. So there, the wives are actually far more advanced. And for example, Prahalada and Hiranyakashipu, the father is supposed to be a role model to the father, I mean to the son. But there we see that Prahalada is actually a devotee, and whereas the father isn't, he is a demon. And similarly, Vritrasura and Indra. So, usually, generally speaking, we say the demigods should be setting a good example, not the demons. But here, Vritrasura, of course, he's also a great devotee. So, there is a role reversal. So, similarly, my point here is in the next few chapters also, usually we would think that the mother will be instructing the son. But here, what a beautiful picture. There is Kapila Dev sitting on an elevated seat and he is instructing his mother. So, is there something that Bhagavatam is trying to convey through these role reversals in several pastimes across the pages of Bhagavatam?
Yeah, Bhagavatam conveys that bhakti is not dependent on external things. That is why bhakti has been defined as something which is not based on time, place, and circumstance. That is ahetuki apratihata. Ahetuki, it doesn't have any hetu. Apratihata, it is not. It is not stopped. It cannot stop bhakti. Bhakti is something which is performed without any material, depending on material situations.
Okay.
Recently, I was giving a class on the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which says the same point. Jigyasam tattva jigyasunatmana anvaya vitrikabhyam sarvatra sarvada. The word sarvatra sarvada means sarvatra, which can be performed in all time, place, and circumstance. Sarvada, always, without any limitations. So you cannot judge the advancement of bhakti based on external things like seniority, gender, or birth, etc. So that's what is the thing which is conveyed by this thing. Gajendra is the elephant.
Yes.
How much bhakti he has.
Yes.
Kunti Devi, she is a woman, but she became practically guru for all the sannyasis. One sense, by speaking those wonderful prayers. So don't judge a person's advancement devotion based on his or her material situation. That is what is the message conveyed by such things in Bhagavatam.
Okay. Very nice, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, before we get into Devahuti's question and Kapila Dev's answers, just overall, like an overview, I think last episode also you kind of briefly hinted about Sankhya Yoga that is going to be taught by Kapila Dev, and you also delineated the distinction between the atheistic Kapila and the Supreme Lord Kapila. So, if you can please share with us what is the significance of Sankhya Yoga. Way back in our Pariprashna, when we discussed Bhagavad Gita, there also in the 3rd chapter, in the beginning, when Arjuna asked, what do you want me to do? You're telling me two things. Vyamishreneva vakyena. You want me to do karma, or you want me to do tyaga? So when he asked like that, immediately Krishna had hinted at Sankhya Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. The blessed Lord said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who realize the self. Some are inclined to understand him by empirical philosophical speculation, and others are inclined to know him by devotional work. And yet again, in fifth chapter, in fourth verse, he quoted, Sankhya Yoga Prithak Balaha Pravadanti na Panditaha Ekamapyasthita Samyag Ubhayor Vindate Phalam. Only the ignorant speak of karma yoga and devotional service as being different from the analytical study of the material world Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. So Krishna has talked about Sankhya. In fact, the very first instruction he gave to Arjuna was, you are not the body, you are the soul. And Prabhupada, a major percentage of his lectures, if we hear, he's repeatedly emphasizing it into our dull heads. You are not the body or the soul, you're not the body or the soul, which is part of Sankhya. And then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also said, in order to establish Tattva, so the Acharyas heavily quote from Canto 3 and Canto 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, where again repeatedly Sankhya Yoga is talked about, here in Canto 3 by Kapila Dev and Uddhava Gita. So what is the significance of Sankhya Yoga, Maharaj, that repeatedly it keeps coming so often, and especially for devotees?
Now, the first time Krishna uses the word Sankhya in the Bhagavad Gita is Yeshate Abhita Sankhya Buddhiyogam Timam Shruno. Till now I explained to the word Sankhya. Now I'm going to speak to you Buddhi Yoga. Now you speak about, I'll speak to you about Buddhi Yoga. Now what is the meaning of the word Sankhya? Sankhya means Sankhya, means to count. Count what? Count the elements of this world. That means you are counting material nature. And then while counting the material nature, you are distinguishing between body and soul. So Sankhya basically means to distinguish between body and soul. But this Sankhya has got three situations or three kinds of Sankhya in one sense.
Okay.
One is atheistic Sankhya. That is also Sankhya, but it is atheistic because by studying that Sankhya, you will only understand material nature and you learn they don't accept the existence of Supreme Lord. So it is Nastika, atheistic Sankhya. That is spoken by atheistic Kapila. And then you have another Sankhya spoken by Krishna, atheistic Sankhya. That also talks about the body and soul, but it doesn't reject the existence of God. That Sankhya, a purpose of that Sankhya is to help understand the soul is distinct from body. And by understanding the soul, we understand super soul.
Okay.
That is Krishna Sankhya. That is devotional Sankhya. But that devotional Sankhya is also mixed with Jnana. So it is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. The third Sankhya is by Kapila. Though he speaks about so many other features of Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, everything is spoken. But still the Sankhya spoken by Devati's son Kapila, that also includes pure devotional service, that is the nature of the Supreme Lord and his relationship with the soul, with the living entity, with the devotee. So in this way, you have three Sankhyas: atheistic Sankhya, that is by atheistic Kapila; Krishna Sankhya, that is Jnana Mishra Bhakti; and Kapila Sankhya, which is your devotional service.
Fantastic, Maharaj. Just a little offshoot of that.
And your specific question was, what it has got to do with the devotee.
Right.
Now, that is answered in the 26th chapter, first verse itself.
Okay.
The 26th chapter, first verse says that Karma Granthi Bhedanam, first and second verse of the 26th chapter. The purpose of the Sankhya Yoga is Karma Granthi Bhedanam. Means by studying the Sankhya philosophy, one can give up knots of his material existence. We are bound, that is ahankara. We are bound by the ahankara. So, Hridaya Granthi Vedanam, sorry, not Karma Granthi, Hridaya Granthi Vedanam. Yeah, similar, but yeah, Hridaya Granthi Vedanam. Granthi means the knots, Vedanam means to cut. So, here, the son of Devati Kapila, he says, Jnanam Shresarthaya Purushasya Atmadarshanam Yadahur Varnite Tatte Hridaya Granthi Vedanam. And second verse of the 26th chapter. And the first verse of the 26th chapter says, Atatesam Pravakshami Tattvanam Lakshanam Pratak. Yad Viditvam Vicheta Purusha Prakriti Kuni. You can become liberated. And now somebody may say, why to hear about so much of description of material nature?
Yeah.
For that, again, if you go to the second chapter, last verse, second canto, 7th chapter, last verse. Canto 2, chapter 7, last verse, that is the 53rd verse, where it is described, Mayam Maranayato Mushya, Ishwarasyanumoditaha, Shrunvataha Shraddhaya Nityam, Maya Atmanam Muhyati. Maya Maranayato Mushya, Ishwarasyanumoditaha. How do you remove Maya, which is stuck in your consciousness? Like you remove a thorn by a thorn. So thorn is stuck up, but you require a thorn to remove the thorn. Poison cuts poison, diamond cuts diamond. In this way, the description of material existence, material nature, as described by Krishna, when you hear it, Maya, when you hear about Maya by Krishna, in connection with Krishna, then you get out of Maya. Like poison cuts poison, diamond cuts diamond, thorn removes thorn. Maya removes Maya. Descriptions of Maya by Krishna removes Maya. And that is why the devotees are supposed to hear these descriptions.
Fascinating, Maharaj. So although I am not the body, I am supposed to know about the constitution of my body so I can cut the knots of attachment to my body. And similarly to the material world also. Although I am not part of this world, still I have to know the constituent, the elemental constitution of this world so I can cut the knots of attachment to this material world. Interesting. So,
yes.
So Maharaj, getting to Devahuti's question now, so I'm jumping to the 7th verse of the 25th chapter. Devahutir uvacha nirvinnanitaram bhuman asad indriya tarshanat yena sambhavyamanena prapannanandam tamah prabho. Devahuti said, I am very sick of the disturbance caused by my material senses. For because of this sense disturbance, my Lord, I have fallen into the abyss of ignorance. So Maharaj, this nirvinna, disgusted, is being disgusted a qualification to take up bhakti? And twofold. One is being disgusted a qualification to take up devotional service? And number two, is being disgusted and detachment the same or are they different?
Now, being disgusted is not the only qualification. Because disgust is actually a symptom, a mode of ignorance.
Okay.
But when you become disgusted, when you, at the time, whom are you approaching? That is very important with the disgust. So when you are disgusted and you approach who is a person who is not a devotee, then you become more disgusted. Whom are you taking shelter of being disgusted? That's important.
Okay.
When you're confused, when you're disgusted, generally people take shelter of wine, alcohol. So disgusted, let us go and drink alcohol. But Arjuna was also disgusted. He was confused. But what did he do? He went and took shelter of Krishna. Here, Devyuti, Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman. I'm disgusted. And then, and she says, I have attained this existence. Yena sambhavyamanena prapannantham tamo prabhu. So here, the mood in which Devati is speaking, she is describing her humility and her experience in this material world, that I have attained this material existence, I am suffering in this world. So it is an expression of surrender, that if you say that, okay, come later, no, it's not going to happen. You go to somebody else, it's not going to happen. So it's an expression of one surrender. So when you surrender, you express your dainya. So Devyuti is expressing her dinata here.
Okay. So disgust and detachment synonymous, Maharaj? Can they go hand in hand? Or one better than the other? Detachment is better than
No, disgust is no detachment.
Okay.
Disgust is actually an aspect of ignorance, mode of ignorance. Because a devotee is always prasanna. He is always self-satisfied. He is not disgusted. But here, I will again explain the same point. It is the expression of these expressions of devotee, the expression of her humility, of sharanagati. Like when Arjuna says, Karpanya doshukta svabha pruchami tvam dharma samurcheta. That is why if you go to the next verse, Devati, she says, by your mercy, I have attained you. Who are you? Satchakshur janmanam ante. Satchakshuhu. By which I can cross the ocean of material existence, which is very difficult to cross over. Labdham me tadanugraha. Tadanugraha. Tasya tvam tamasondhasya. Dushparasya adhyaparagam. Dushparasya adhyaparagam. Very difficult to cross over. So now, it is because of you, now I am going to cross over the ocean of material existence. So, we have four kinds of people approach Krishna. Artho, Jignasa, Ratharthi, Jnani, cha Paratarsham. But there, Krishna used the word Sukritinaha. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritinarjana. So it is not that everybody who is a artha or everybody who is a disgusted person comes to Krishna. If disgust is detachment, then divorce is sannyas. So divorce and sannyas, they are two different things. Somebody say, oh, now I have taken sannyas, but he just divorced. That means he got disgusted with his wife and then took divorce to find another one. But that is no sannyas.
Yeah. Very nice, Maharaj. So what about in the same shloka, 7th one, right after she says Nirvinna Nitaram Bhuman, she says Asat Indriya Tarshana. Pretty much the whole purport, Prabhupada is focusing on that only, saying that this word Asat Indriya Tarshanat is significant. So if you can say something on that.
Asat Indriya Tarshanat. Asat means what? It is temporary. Tarshanat, that is desire. The desire for sense enjoyment is always going to lead to destruction. It is never going to satisfy our soul. So the more we try to enjoy our senses, or more we indulge in sense enjoyment, sense gratification, the more frustration is there. Now, yes, the philosophy which says you go on enjoying your senses, you will be completely satisfied or frustrated, then you can become spiritual. But that is not going to happen.
Mm.
The more you indulge in sense enjoyment, the more disgusted you become.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you come out of it. You add fuel to it, fire becomes more. Initially, it seems that it reduces,
Mm.
but it actually increases.
Mm.
You become more and more, and the fire becomes more and more. You become mad.
Mm.
That is why the moment you are disgusted with the sense enjoyment, the solution is not to indulge more in sense enjoyment, that is to come to the shelter of the spiritual master.
Mm.
Like Devi is accepting her son as spiritual master.
Mm.
This way, asad indri tarshanat. So one should not consider sense enjoyment as the solution for the frustration.
Mm. Beautiful. So now the very first question in this whole section from chapters 25 to 33, she's going to ask about 7 to 8 questions. So the very first question in shloka number 10, she's very specific. Now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I have been engaged by your Maya and have identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations. So Maharaj, before we dive into the answer of Kapila Dev, if you can please help us understand the question of Devahuti. Dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I have been engaged by your Maya and have identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations. What is she asking here?
Yeah, she has got a series of questions.
Mhm.
Mhm. She goes on asking, Athame devasammoham apakrashtum tamarhasi. So please just fill my illusion. And this illusion is actually, the problem is, it's an obstacle for bhakti.
Okay.
And what is the delusion which I have? Hmm? That is, aham mameti etasmin yojitastvaya.
Mhm.
I have been thinking, I am a woman. I am the daughter of a king.
Mm.
I am so and so.
Mhm.
And aham, mama, this is mine.
Mm.
Hmm? And these are the two components of ignorance. Aham mama,
Mm.
hmm, aham mameti, and other things born out of it. Hmm.
Mhm.
So these are all produced because of misconception of that I am this body. I am the body, and anything connected to the body is mine. And this illusion has been created by you. If you say that go to somebody else, he'll solve the problem. He's not going to solve the problem. You can solve the problem because this illusion has been created by you.
Mm.
Yojitastvaya.
Mm.
Etasmin yojitastvaya. So you have put me into this Maya, in this condition. So
Mhm.
now only you can deliver me from this condition. So that
Mm.
is why she is approaching him exclusively,
Okay.
approaching Kapila
Mhm.
exclusively.
Mhm. Okay, and then she goes on to say the acts with which to cut the attachment and all that. And now, seeing Kapila Dev's answers, going to verse number 13. Shri Bhagavan Yoga Adhyatmikah Pumsa Mato Nishreyasaya Me Atyanto Paratiryatra Dukkhasya Cha Sukhasya Cha. The personality of Godhead answered, the yoga system which relates to the Lord and the individual soul, which is meant for the ultimate benefit of the living entity and which causes detachment from all happiness and distress in the material world, is the highest yoga system. So I'll just cover the next shloka as well. Tam imam te pravakshyami yam avocham puranaghe rishinam shrotu kamanam yogam sarvanga naipunam. O most pious mother, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system which I explained formerly to the great sages. It is serviceable and practical in every way. So, Maharaj, first of all, what is this yoga adhyatmika yoga that Kapila Dev is going to talk about? If you can enlighten us on that. And the second thing, yes, we should not manufacture anything. Prabhupada and our Acharya say, just repeat whatever you have heard from the scriptures and your Guru Varyas. And here the Supreme Lord is also following the same thing. He's telling, I'm not manufacturing anything. He's saying, I shall now explain unto you the ancient yoga system. So whatever he's spoken before only, which I explained formerly to the great sages. So how important it is for all of us, especially those who are in preaching service, that we follow this, that we don't manufacture anything, but we quote from the scriptures and the gurus, that we remain chaste to what we hear.
There is a system. Nobody manufactures anything. Everything is already manufactured. Even if you see the scientists, they say, I've invented. But it's not invention, it's only discovery.
Yes.
Like somebody would say, nobody can say, the Newton invented Newton laws of motion. You name it as Newton's laws of motion. It was discovered. It was there already. So whether it is modern science or spiritual science, what is already there is being spoken. Modern science, they try to say, no, I am the person who started this thing. It's a special thing, my invention. No. The Vedic science knows. Everybody says that what I am speaking is the same thing what has been spoken. Krishna says in the Bhagavatam many places, Purvair Purvataram Kritam, Purvair Mukshvihi, Baho Jnatapasa, Uta Bhavamagata. Many people in the past, they have performed the same thing. And I'm just speaking the same thing again to you. Krishna also says the same thing.
Yes.
Evam yoga tvaya proktaha. Whatever yoga which I have spoken to you, which I have spoken this thing to Vaswan. Vaswan Brahma, Ikshvaka Bravit. Isn't it?
Yes.
So wherever you go, it is the same thing. Like Parikshit Maharaj, when he asked question to Sukadeva Goswami to speak about Krishna in the 10th canto, Nivritya Tarshe Rupakiyamanat. Whatever Naradaji has spoken, or Naradaji, great sages like Narada, they have spoken, same thing as I speak. So when the same thing is spoken by different speakers, it has got a different flavor. That is a speciality. So now here, Krishna as Kapila, same thing is saying. Yoga Adhyatmika Pumsam. And what is the meaning of the word Adhyatmika? That yoga which is in connection with the living entity in the Supreme Lord. That yoga I'm going to speak. Yoga means connection. Yoga Adhyatmika. That is concerning Atma. Concerning the Jivatma. No. I'm going to speak about the yoga concerning the Jivatma, not the body. Many times, the word yoga has been mistaken these days as standing upside down. Or doing something which normally other can do, other cannot do. So that has been considered to be yoga, but actually it is not. The real yoga is Adhyatmika. Yoga Adhyatmika Pumsam Mato Nishreyasa Sayame. So this yoga which I'm going to speak to you is Nishreyaha, which is beneficial to oneself. So that yoga which I'm going to speak to you, it is Bhakti. And this yoga which I'm going to speak to has got a very special thing. What is it? It is going to remove not just the distress, dukkhasya cha sukhasya cha. Just see, people want to get rid of miseries. But here he says, you will get rid of both happiness and misery.
Yes.
Both.
Yes. Beautiful. Very nice. So Maharaj, in the 15th verse, Kapila Dev is saying, Chetakalvasya bandhaya muktaye chatmano matam guneshu saktam bandhaya ratam vapumsi muktaye The stage in which the consciousness of the living entity is attracted by the three modes of material nature is called conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is situated in the consciousness of liberation. So, very interesting. So, it's a game of consciousness. We saw this journey of Arjuna also from the beginning of Bhagavad Gita to the end. Everything else practically remained the same, but what transformed was his consciousness. And our glorious founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he also could have named anything for our society, but he named International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And here Kapila Dev is also emphasizing it's the same consciousness, but when it is attracted to the three modes, it is conditional life. But when that same consciousness is attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it is conducive consciousness of liberation. So, what can we understand? What can we draw from this matter?
A similar verse is found in the Upanishads also. That is, Manaya Vanashyanam Karanam Mandamukshu, when they are Vishyansam Muksha, Vishwadman Mana. So the nature of the living entity is to be attached. You cannot live without attachment. Chetaha kalvasya bandhaya muktaye chatmano matam. The mind is a cause of both bondage and liberation for the jiva.
Right.
So when the mind is attached to guneshu saktam bandhaya and attached to the modes of nature, then the cause of bondage. Ratam va pumsi muktaye. When the attachment is for Krishna, then he'll be liberated. So, how can you develop rati for Krishna? That is only bhakti, not by any other process. Only by pure bhakti, one can develop attachment for pumsi, ratam, va pumsi, muktaya. So you cannot say, I want to be detached without having a positive attachment. So that leads to frustration to such an extent. They fall down to such an extent, they become more attached to Maya. Like one who is very much addicted to eating sweets. And all of a sudden, what happens? He stops. I'll just stop eating sweets. But the time requires some taste. If it doesn't get a higher taste, then what happens? After a few days, he'll eat more sweets than what he would have usually eaten. That is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 62nd, 63rd verse. That is, Jayata Vishyan Pumsa Sangastesha Vijayate. If you don't give a positive attachment, subject matter for the soul to relish, that is Krishna consciousness, then you require, the soul doesn't have, or a person doesn't have any object of attachment, then gone. Positive object of attachment. So attachment is not the problem here, because attachment, you just cannot live without attachment. You should be attached to something other than. So the only object of attachment is Krishna. Then naturally, the object of attachments in this world will be given up, which are the cause of bondage.
Okay. So, Maharaj, in the later verses, we see there is a very systematic way how Kapila Dev instructs Devahuti. So, just now you quoted from the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita about attachment of the mind. So, I'll just maybe quote a couple of shlokas here. So, this is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 5. Uddaredatmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. A man must elevate himself by his own mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. And in the very next verse, 6th verse, Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitah anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully... Oh, sorry, I got the wrong translation. Okay. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends, but for one who has failed to do so, his very mind will be the greatest enemy. So here, Maharaj, Kapila Dev is also instructing how mind is such a pivotal thing. Like you said, we have to be attached to something. So Kapila Dev says, now what is the process of, so that attachment cannot be removed, but it can be transformed. So he's going to talk about the glory. This whole chapter is called the glory of devotional service. And he says, instead of attaching your mind to other materialistic things, he says you have to be attached to the devotees. So, why is this mind a crucial thing? And how attachment to devotees will help tame the mind and take it in the right direction?
When you're attached to someone, then naturally you become attached to the person who is attached to. When you are attached to someone, then you become attached to the person whom this person is attached to.
Interesting. Okay.
That's very natural.
Yes.
When you love someone, okay, that person loves, say, dosas. You also love dosa, like that.
Yes.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, in the further verses also, here Kapila speaks to Devi Yuti, the same thing. He says that Prasangam Majaram Bhasham Atmana Kavi Viduhu. Say Sadhu Sukruto Moksha Dwara Pavritam. Prasangam Majaram Bhasham Atmana Kavi Viduhu. Learned people say attachment to the modes of nature, material world is the cause of destruction, bondage. Sayeva Sadhu Sukruto. When you're attached to your spiritual master, then moksha dwara apavritam. So when Prabhupada saw his disciples very attached to him, then he smiled and they would leave the body, he smiled, left his body. He was done his job because they are attached to him. Naturally, they'll be attached to his mission, they'll be attached to his object of worship, object of his attachment, Krishna. And this way is successful. And it is Sayeva Sadhu Sukruto. Attachment to the sadhu, moksha dwara pavritam, opens the door of liberation.
Okay. So, Maharaj, from verses 21 to 24. So, just now we talked about attachment to devotee sadhu. Now, who is a sadhu? Interestingly, it is not the external appearance, what they are wearing, although that is also in its own place. But however, he is talking about who is a sadhu, what qualifies as a sadhu. So I'll just quote these 4 verses and then would like to hear from you. तितिक्षवः कारुणिकाः सुहृदा सर्वदेहिनाम् अजातशत्रवः शान्ताः साधवः साधुभूषणाः. So beautiful, they want to chant it. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. The 22nd verse. मयि अनन्येन भावेन भक्तिं कुर्वन्ति ये दृढां मत्कृते त्यक्तकर्माणस्त्यक्तस्वजनबान्धवाः. Such a sadhu engages in staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections such as family relationships and friendly acquaintances within the world. मदाश्रया कथामृष्टाः शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नैतान् मद्गतचेतसः. Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. 24th verse. The ete sadhavah sadhvi sarvasanga vivarjitaah sangasteshvatate prarthyah sangadoshah. O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. So, what a wonderful set of shlokas. So, if you can please talk a little bit about how to identify sadhu, these wonderful qualities of a sadhu.
Now, when somebody asks, okay, who is a sadhu? Then for that, there are 2 verses spoken to identify who is a sadhu. One verse, 21st verse, talks about the the tatastha lakshanas of a sadhu.
Mhm.
Tatastha lakshana means the secondary characteristics of a sadhu. What are they? Titikshvaha. Titikshvaha means to be tolerant.
Mhm.
Karunika means merciful. Surudaha sarvabhutana means friendly to all living beings. And Ajata Shatrava means one who is having no enemy. Ajata Shatrava, Shanta, who is very gentle, very peaceful. And Sadhavaha, who is straightforward.
Mm.
Sadhavaha. And Sadhabhushana, they are respectful. They are Ajata Shatrava, Shantaha. And Sadhavaha, they are respectful for other devotees in the sense that they follow the decorum in the scriptures.
Mhm.
In this way, these are sadhu bhushana, means uh, they are the ornaments of a sadhu.
Mm.
And they also think that devotees, uh, they keep the sadhus or devotees as their ornaments. Like you keep ornaments very precious.
Mhm.
So they consider association devotees is the most precious thing.
Mm.
And they deal with the devotees in a very precious way. Like you deal with precious jewelry.
Mm.
Sadhavaha sadhubhushana. But these are still external. But internal quality, that is the intrinsic quality, Swarupa Lakshana of a sadhu is this.
Mm.
Mai ananya bhavena bhaktim kurvanti ye didam. Matkrite tekta karmana tekta sajana bhandava.
Mm.
Now, Ananya means they worship Krishna and nobody else. And they worship with the mood. Ananya bhavena, the Shanta, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya.
Mhm.
Dridam, very rigidly. To such an extent, if there is a obstruction
Mhm.
by the family, wives, children, relatives, for the performance of devotion, they give them a taktva swajana bandhava.
Mm.
And they find there's some job or some business they are doing, it's an obstruction for them from progress of spiritual life. They give them up. Their main focus is to become a devotee to serve Krishna. Yeah.
Mm. And Maharaj, what does it mean to become a... Yeah, go ahead, Maharaj. Sorry.
Yeah. Other two verses are there.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, what do they do? How is their life? Mat ashraya kata ashta. They're constantly hearing the pastimes of Krishna.
Mm.
They're not affected by anything in this world. Shrinvanti katayanti cha tapanti vidatapaha naitam madgadaji. Because madgadajita, their whole consciousness is within me. They are no more affected by the modes of nature.
Mm.
So externally you'll find that uh, they sangadosha harahite. They destroy the faults of material association. Sangadosha harahite.
Mm.
That is why he addresses his mother, says, "My dear mother, ta ete sadavaha sadvi sarvasanga vivarjitaha." You should associate with those devotees who have no attachment to dharma, artha, kama, and moksha.
Mm.
And you have great desire for the association.
Mm.
Yeah. Go further.
Okay, very nice. So, Maharaj, when we say become attached to the devotee, what does it mean to become attached? Practically, what does it look like?
When you're attached to someone, you would like to do what that person has said.
Mm.
You would like to please that person.
Mm.
Now, what is that thing which pleases sadhu? That is described in the very famous word, Satam Prasangan Veera Samvido Bhavante Ritkarna Rasayana Kata Tajjoshnada Sapavargavartmani Shraddharatir Bhaktiranukramishati.
Mm.
So this is the desire. This is called sadhu sangha.
Mm.
Sadhu Sangha doesn't mean, okay, I sit with him, I had a selfie with that sadhu. No, no, no. These days is a big craze. Wherever I go, they want one photo, Prabhuji. Have with one photo with you. Crazy. What is going to happen with that?
Yeah.
Okay. If they're happy with it, our job is to make people happy. We
Mm.
do that. But the real association is this.
Mm.
Uh, One's mind develops attraction to the Lord.
Mm.
Why? Satam prasangatma virya samvidu prakrishta rupena samad sangha. You associate with the sadhu by hearing from him.
Mm.
And gradually Shraddha, Ratir, Bhakti, Anukramashati.
Mm.
So this verse talks about all the 9 stages of Bhakti.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So, Maharaj, as a consequence of attachment to the sadhu, hearing from the sadhu, serving the sadhu, in the 26th verse translation, last part, he said, he is able to control the mind. So, how do we know? It's not like a one or zero kind of a thing that I've controlled the mind or not controlled the mind. Of course, it's a progression. So, how do we know that I am moving in the right direction? I am making progress on the path of controlling the mind. What are some symptoms by which I can assess for myself if my mind is being controlled or not?
See, controlling the mind is a process.
Mm.
And the verse says, Bhaktya puman jata viraga indriyat. Jata viraga indriyat. A human being, when he becomes jata viraga, he says, oh, I'm fed up with this mental existence.
Mm.
Hmm. Then what he should do? Drishta shrutan mad rachananu chintaya.
Mm.
चित्तस्य यत्तो ग्रहणे योग युक्तः. What is the meaning of yatto yattah?
Engaged.
Engaged.
Mhm.
So he is engaged in the process of controlling the mind.
Mm.
He should engage in the process of controlling the mind. Now, after speaking about pure devotional service,
Mhm.
now here Yoga Mishra Bhakti is being discussed now, is being and described here.
Okay.
Yeah. So the subject matter here is Yoga Mishra Bhakti.
Mhm.
So that is why he is endeavoring to control the mind with the help of Bhakti.
Okay.
The purpose of Bhakti is not to control the mind. The purpose of Bhakti is to please Krishna, and
Mm.
controlling the mind is actually byproduct of it.
Mm. Mm. Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Maharaj, in the verses here, 26, 27, Kapila Dev has clearly, he is emphatically stated the supremacy of bhakti, that it is the ultimate, is the easiest and the best. But however, right in the next question, I mean the next shlokas, the 28th was, Devahutir uvacha kachit tvai uchita bhaktihi kidrishi mama gochara yaya padam te nirvanam anjasanvashnava aham. On hearing the statement of the Lord, Devahuti inquired, what kind of devotional service is worth developing and practicing to help me easily and immediately attain the service of your lotus feet? And then in the 29th verse, the mystic yoga system, as you have explained, aims at the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is meant for completely ending material existence. Please let me know the nature of that yoga system. How many ways are there by which one can understand in truth that sublime yoga? So very nice. She's asking that, okay, how can I develop and practice this devotional service easily and immediately attain? That is very good. But why in the 29th shloka, even after her son clearly said Bhakti Yoga is the supreme, she's telling, I want to know about other sublime yogas also.
Till now, he has not spoken Bhakti Yoga is supreme. He
Okay.
just told, in a spontaneous way, Bhakti also is, he spoke about Bhakti, it also spoke about Jnana and Yoga
Mm.
in just 2 verses as just an introduction.
Mhm.
And then she becomes confused. Like Arjuna also became confused. And that is why she asked this question.
Okay.
That is, Kechitva Yuchita Bhakti. What type of bhakti is suitable for you? Huh? And like me, I'm just a simple woman. And what is suitable for me? What pleases you? And what is suitable for me? By which aham. Even an ignorant person like me, even a fool like me, can attain yaya padam te nirvanam, attain your lotus feet. So that is why she asked this question.
Okay.
About whatever you spoke about tattvas, you spoke about so many things. Now I will perform bhakti. At the same time, if somebody asks me about jnana and yoga, I have to have some knowledge to refute them. That is why you speak about jnana also, tattvas also, other things. But it should be Bhagavat Banaha. Every yoga you teach, jnana, karma, yoga, but it should be Bhagavat Bana. It should be directed towards me. That kind of bhakti which I want to hear, apart from the Shuddha Bhakti. That is what is that. That is why this question becomes the basis of practically the next many chapters.
Yes.
Where he speaks practically Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti. And he also speaks about Bhakti Mishra Yoga, Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Jnana. And also different kinds of devotional service, Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. All these things happen. And also with the material life within this world, just to enjoy sinful life. And also life which is based on karma, kanda, you go to heaven and enjoy. All the subject matters are covered in this next, starting from this to 33rd chapter, 8 chapters. 8. Yeah. About 9 chapters practically.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's a lot of permutations and combinations, Maharaj, without missing a beat like a tongue twister. You kept telling Mishra this, Mishra that, so many things. Looking forward to hearing about all that. But however, in the remainder of this chapter, Maharaj, he does again exemplify bhakti only, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. In this 33rd verse, just 2 lines here, Jarayatya Shuya Kosham Nigirnam Analo Yatha. Bhakti, devotional service, dissolves the subtle body of the living entity without separate effort, just as fire in the stomach digests all that we eat. Why this analogy is given? Just as fire in the stomach digests all that we eat?
Fire in the stomach, it digests. Because when it digests, it has got 2 aspects. One is it takes the essence of the food and removes the contaminated part out. In the same way, this pure devotional service also does the same thing by nourishing the soul and then getting rid of the material existence. In essence, it is like that.
Okay, okay. So Maharaj, this whole section here, this last section, the way Kapila Dev beautifully talks about devotional service, can there be parallels that can be drawn to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Shloka, Anya Bilashita Shunyam, that particular verse which you very nicely expound? Are there parallels to this section and that verse?
Yeah. If you see these verses which talks about pure devotional service by Kapila, where he talks about how a pure devotee conducts in his life. Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karma janavritam. Then jnana karma janavritam anukulina krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. So this verse is coined by Srila Rupa Goswami. And when he has coined his words, then he has to give another verse from the scriptures which talk about the same thing. Otherwise, why anybody would accept this these words by Rupa Goswami? Whatever one says, it should be supported by scriptures. So, whatever Rupa Goswami had said, it should be supported by the scriptures. So, there are two scriptures. One is Pancharatra, other is Srimad Bhagavatam. So, first he quotes the Pancharatra scriptures, where there is a very beautiful verse. He says that Sarvopādi Nirmuktam Tat Paratve Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikeisha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. What is the meaning of that? How is it compared with Anyavilashita Shunyam? Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam. There is Anyavilashita Shunyam. Jnana Karma Janavrutam. Sarvopadi Virirmuktam. Tat Paratvena. Tat Paratvena refers to what? How we are connected to Krishna in pure devotional service. Krishna Shiranam. Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. Nirmala means Jnana Karma Janavrutam. Tat Paratve Nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikeisha Sevanam. That is Anushilanam. Sevanam, Anushilanam, like that. Now, here Kapila also speaks these verses, which talks about how this is pure devotional service. Mai sarva guhasaye manogadir nicchinna yata gangamba sambudo lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya hi utavrutam ahetuki avyahita ya bhakti purushottame. This is from the chapter 3rd Canto, 29th chapter, 11th and 12th verse. So, mad guna shruti matrena means just by hearing about Krishna gunas, what happens? The devotee's mind flow towards me. How? Manogatir avichinna. How avichinna means without any stoppage. Yatha gangamba sombudo. Like the water, Ganga water flows towards the ocean. Even though a huge rock falls in between, then the water doesn't say, oh, why you fall down. No, it doesn't cry. It finds its way out. In the same way, Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Hidavratam. This is the Lakshana of Bhakti Yoga, pure devotional service. That has been described. It is Ahetuki Avyavahita Ya Bhaktir Purushottame. So this is the example. These two verses are quoted by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to support his statement for pure devotional service. What is the verse? That is Anyavilahita Shunyam Jnana Karma Janavrutam. That is Ahetuki Avyahita. Jnana Karma Janavrutam. What is that thing? That is Nirgunasya. That means it is pure devotional service without any covering of jnana and karma. Ahetuki avyahita, which has no breakage, and avyavahita, which is performed ahetuki without any desire other than a desire to satisfy Krishna. So many verses are quoted by Rupa Goswami from Kapila Devati Samvad to support the pure devotional service which he has coined. The verse describing pure devotional service which he has coined. That is Nyavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Janavrutam Anupurani Krishna SrimadBhagavatam. Yeah.
Brilliant, Maharaj. Very nice. So Maharaj, the very last verse of this chapter, 44th verse, Etavan eva lokesmin pumsam nishreyasodayah tivrena bhakti yogena manomai arpitam sthiram. Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in the intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life. So, Maharaj, this mind and smarana, even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna repeatedly talks about manmana bhava mad bhakto. So, you have to fix your mind on me, you have to think of me. In fact, the litmus test at the time of death is also based on the mind smarana only. In 8.5, Krishna says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. And whoever at the time of death quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So, Maharaj, to wrap up this whole thing here, Kapila Dev is also talking about Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Mano Mai Arpitam Stiram. How can we fix our own mind solidly, very strongly on the lotus feet of the Lord?
Madguna Stuti Matrena, by constantly hearing from sadhus. That is the only way by which you can fix your mind in Krishna. That is the only way. There is no other way. Tivrena. The word Tivrena means firm. That means without jnana karma. That is pure. How will you get that thing? When you hear from a pure devotee. When you hear from a pure devotee, Krishna Katha, that makes us mind fixed up in Krishna's feet. That is the only way.
So Maharaj, I was going to discuss the next chapter as well, but looking at the time, looks like, and it's quite a big chapter, so I don't think we'll be able to do justice to the chapter if we take it up. We'll do that in the next episode, Maharaj, if you're okay with that.
Yes, we'll do that.
So Maharaj, moving to the Brahmastra segment, rapid fire. So in the discussion of Sankhya Yoga, later also we will see how this whole thing about consciousness, material consciousness versus spiritual consciousness, and attraction, attachment, and different things. So I'm just going to give you some random dozen different material things, so-called material things. So if you can give us one tip how to spiritualize that thing, so that will be your Brahmastra segment.
Yes.
So the very first thing, how to spiritualize WhatsApp and social media.
You are the expert in that. I am not so expert. But WhatsApp, I'm quite expert.
Yeah.
I make a lot of fundraising has been done through WhatsApp for
Jai.
Mira Road Temple. Yes, yes.
Wow.
What a lot of fundraising. And now anybody in the group, we encourage each other by they post how much has been collected, and that becomes a festival. So a lot of fun. WhatsApp is very good.
Inspiring. Okay. The next one, how can we spiritualize stress?
See, you cannot avoid it. Better spiritualize it by taking stress. By taking stress means I use the word responsibility. By taking responsible services in spreading Krishna consciousness.
Nice. So what about fame? How to spiritualize fame? Famous
Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Raya Ramanand and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a conversation, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, who is famous? Then Raya Ramanand told, only devotee is famous. So you should act in such a way that you are famous. You should not act in such a way it becomes a cause of infamy for Srila Prabhupada and organization, ISKCON, and even Krishna. So when you act in a saintly way, then naturally you become famous. And the problem with the people in this world is they think infamy is being famous.
Okay, interesting. Money, how to spiritualize money?
Oh, that's the best way. Many ways.
Mm.
Build one temple, one Gurukul,
Mm.
you'll understand how to spiritualize money. Rather, Prabhupada, he knew the technique of spiritualizing money.
Mm.
Uh, it was told to me by uh, Bhakti Maharaj.
Uh-huh.
Told me in Prabhupada in India had a very unique technique of engaging people in Krishna's service.
Mm.
He said people's mind is so much attached to money.
Mm.
So when you take money and then put at Krishna's lotus feet, their mind also comes. Hey, where is my money? Where is my money? Then they'll see that money is at the feet of Krishna. Then they'll think of it of Krishna.
Mm.
Mm. You take their money and then put it in Brahman Bhoj. Now it's Prithapaksha is going on.
Yes.
Or you engage there in some food distribution. And then they come and see, hey, it's happening or what?
Mm.
I know many people who would never come to our house, our temple.
Mm.
When I was doing a lot of some kind of fundraising kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So it was Pitrupaksh. So somebody met me in the train and then said, Pitrupakti is going on. Uh, can we want to donate for some Brahmana Bhoj?
Uh-huh.
I told, okay, donate.
Mm.
So then he told me, I asked him to come, why don't you come? So then he said, I cannot come on this day. On this day, you feed.
Uh-huh.
So we made announcement, we fed on that. He gave 5,000 rupees.
Okay.
But he sent one of his friend to see whether it's happening or not.
Okay.
So his friend came, then he was contacting me and then I told, why don't you come and take prasad?
Mm.
Then next day he came, told, I heard from my friend, I sent him to make sure whether it's happening or not to see.
Mm.
So he also came. He never had come to ISKCON.
Yeah.
Like mentality is there. When I paid
Mm.
that money, it's gone there or not.
Yeah.
That's how people get connected.
Mm. Mm. How to spiritualize success, Maharaj?
Yeah, success is a very relative term. It's a relative term.
Mm-hmm.
You can spiritualize success.
Mm-hmm.
But what is success? When you understand that success is to please your Guru and Krishna,
Yeah.
that is success.
Mm.
Where these terminologies, they have improper understanding among people. So first we should have proper understanding of success. Then or money, proper understanding of everything. That is actually success. That is how we become spiritual. Everything is actually spiritual. Misunderstanding of a particular object of it or a term is material. Proper understanding is spiritual. It is not, it is material and you're spiritualizing it.
Yeah.
It is material because you don't have proper understanding of fame. You don't have proper understanding of money. You don't have proper understanding of success. So the very way you can spiritualize anything in this world is by having a proper understanding, proper perspective towards that.
Right. Okay. And how to spiritualize our waiting times, whether it's in a long queue or traffic or waiting for someone. So how can we spiritualize that waiting time? Waiting time. Maybe we are in a long queue somewhere, traffic somewhere, waiting for the flight.
Again, the same thing. Time. Having the proper understanding of time.
Okay.
Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Chant Hare Krishna. So many times I fly from one place to other place.
Yes.
Many times it so happens the flights get delayed.
Mm.
I'm just sitting in the corner and chanting Hare Krishna. And you find those people just like crows. They attack the simple lady who is managing that counter in the airlines. And what she can do if the flight doesn't come, they all shout at her like anything, and somehow she's maintaining the peace.
Yeah.
It feels so bad. The flight has not come. What that lady can do? What anybody can do? She's saying the weather is not what. Chant and be happy. What you can do.
Yeah.
Many things are not in your hands.
Mm.
That's all. I was standing. I'm sharing them today.
Oh, Jai.
Yeah, sharing them.
Mm.
I'm doing some Kannada classes to devotees who come from Bangalore and Mangalore.
Oh, Jai. Mm.
So a group had come. They had paid 100 rupees. I was also standing in 100 rupee line queue.
Mm.
So then what happened? These two queues mix at one place.
Mm.
Then one family, they just thought we pay 100 rupees, they're all going. There is so much in anxiety.
Mm.
I was chanting and said, hey, just because you paid 100 rupees, do you think you purchased Ranganath or what? Uh,
Mm.
I told them in the same language.
Mm.
They're speaking Telugu and I spoke to them in Telugu. And said,
Yeah.
you buy your 100 rupees, have you purchased Ranganatha?
Yeah. Mm.
Ah. Then by hearing it, they laughed and then became very peaceful.
Mm.
I thought they'll have a negative reaction, but they were happy about hearing that.
Yeah.
And they also started chanting. Then he started speaking. You're from ISKCON and all these things.
Mm.
So when you engage yourself in Krishna Katha, then all anxiety gone. Whether it is queue or anyhow, you're all waiting for death, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some people
Wow.
are knowing that waiting for death, you're not waiting. Some people don't know it. Kalam pratiksham. That's all. Namanantasya. That
Mm.
verse is there. Narada, how he connected his life.
Mm.
Chanting the names of the Lord, he was waiting for death.
Mm.
That's okay.
What a perspective. So, how can we spiritualize laziness, Maharaj?
Srila Prabhupada said that devotees are lazy intelligent.
Ah. Mm.
Lazy intelligent.
Mm.
That's Brahmana's nature, that lazy, they're easy.
Mm.
Lazy intelligent.
Mm.
Other is intelligent, they are intelligent, active intelligence.
Mm.
There is, yeah, something like that. Just
Yes,
forgot.
yes,
He,
yes.
he made the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and
Yeah.
Sudras. He made it categorized. Yeah.
Mm. So, how can we spiritualize being criticized by someone?
Being criticized by,
Someone.
oh, that's the best thing which can happen.
Best thing. Okay.
Because your bad karmas are all going nicely
Oh,
and you get a
definitely.
nice room for improvement, isn't it?
Mm. Mm.
It is best. One who criticizes you is a best friend because he's helping you in advancing in Krishna consciousness.
Mm. Mm. How can we spiritualize competition?
Srila Prabhupada, he practically spoke about the transcendental competition.
Yes.
You can spiritualize your competition by serving your competitor.
Serving your competitor. Wow. Yes. How can we spiritualize our family?
Just be a good wife, just be a good mother,
Mm.
just be a good husband. Um, by being material, you can spiritualize their family, your family.
Wow. Nice.
Because your family members, they expect you to be a good husband
Mm.
or a good son or a daughter.
Mm.
Just be, try your best by
Mm.
doing a very good drama. It cannot be. Nobody can be a good husband, nobody can be a good wife, nobody can be a good son or daughter. But at least
Mm.
they can try and act.
Mm.
Best way, if you're a best actor,
Mm.
then this way you can spiritualize.
Oh. Mm. What about loneliness, Maharaj? Spiritualize loneliness.
Oh, that's the best thing,
No.
to think that you're never alone.
Mm.
Your loneliness is to find Krishna, who
Mm.
is always in your heart.
Mm.
Talk to him.
Okay.
Talk to Krishna, is in your heart.
Mm. Mm.
You can speak. What is the problem?
Yeah.
When you know you're not alone, that is how you spiritualize your loneliness.
Mm. Okay. So Maharaj, last one. What about superiority or inferiority complex? How does one spiritualize those complexes?
Dasoham Kaushalendrasya Ramasya Krishna Karmanaha. So the only way where you can feel the superiority complex is I am Dasaha. I'm servant of Krishna, servant of Prabhupada. So there is no better position one can have than being servant of. And since you're a servant, so you should understand your inferiority complex is also very good to feel I am the most insignificant servant. You be proud of being servant and be humble of being the servant of the servant.
Right. Very, very beautiful. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. So here, Kapila Dev said, Sadhava Sadhu Bhushanaha. So it is my greatest fortune that I don't have to look further. You yourself are an epitome of all these qualities, both the Tatastha Lakshana and the Swarupa Lakshana. Also, it's a great fortune. It's such a privilege and pleasure that week after week to hear from you. Of course, you give so many other classes also to go on hearing from you. So thank you, Maharaj, for taking time out. And like you were telling, it's all about having proper understanding. And you, through these enlightening talks, you are helping us gain that proper understanding, the way you define things, the way you change our perspectives. So eternally indebted to you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. So Hare Krishna, everyone. There we go. So this was our brief discussion on chapter number 25. Although we could not get to the next chapter, of course, we will touch upon that in the next episode. But like I reminded you right in the beginning of the episode, there is a little form that is left in the description. So please do us a small favor by filling that out. Take just 2 minutes of your time and give us your feedback about Pariprashna so we can compile all of that for our 50th episode. So thank you very much. We will see you in the next episode, 49th episode. Until then, please do take care and stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.